What's going on, guys? It's Keith. I want to play for you right now this excerpt from a podcast that my friend and I made several years back. It was some NFL podcast we were doing, and I just want you to listen to how I sound in this clip.
Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, you really hating right now?
No, but 5,000.
As you can tell, I sounded like the most nasally, high-pitched, whiny type of dude. Like, if I heard that guy talking right now, I would lose my mind. It sounds like nails on a chalkboard, and I can't believe I used to talk like that. It's so embarrassing. Like, it's so funny because I used to think I was like the shit and all this. I'm like so cool and all this stuff, but I'm talking like that. It was just ridiculous. But what I want to do in this video is share with you the keys that have helped me bring out the bass in my voice, get some depth into my voice. Now, the first thing that I had to do to learn to speak deeper was I had to learn to speak out of my stomach rather than out of my chest or my throat. Basically, the deeper that you go into your body, the deeper your voice is going to sound. And this is something that is difficult to do because you've probably been habituated to speaking out of your throat. And I'm actually gonna give you an example right now. This is me speaking normally, speaking mostly out of my stomach. If I bring it up here out of my chest, you can already hear the difference. And if I talk out of my throat, you can really hear that it starts to get higher pitched. And then I come back down here to where I naturally talk. There's no bass when I'm talking up here out of my throat versus when I'm talking out of my stomach. Now, the next thing that I learned to do was actually speak out of my mouth instead of speaking out of my nose. If you find that you've got that nasally voice, it's because the sound is actually coming mostly out of your nose. You're breathing out of your nose while you're talking. I'm gonna play that clip for you again, and you're gonna hear just how nasally this sounds.
Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, you really hating right now?
No, but 5,000.
Okay, it sounds like I'm talking out of my nose. It's like, what, like, I just can't believe I used to talk like that. But so many guys have kind of we've got this habit of blowing out of our nose while we're speaking, and it gives you this nasally kind of sound. Think about the difference between like a clarinet and a tuba. You know? And a tuba's got this really big hole that the sound comes out of. Well, look at your mouth versus your nose. Like, the clarinet's got the smaller hole, and you hear the sound from a clarinet, and it's that like high-pitched Squidward type shit, right? It's like whining and stuff like that. And then you've got the tuba, and the tuba's got that bass and that resonance to it because it's coming out of that larger hole. So think of it this way when it comes to speaking. If you just start speaking out of your stomach and then start speaking out of your mouth instead of your nose, you're already gonna notice a significant change in your voice. In fact, practice it right now and leave me a comment and let me know how much of a difference it makes for you just to do those two things. And that's just two of the things that I've done to really help with my voice. Now, this next thing has been really key as well, and that is learning to breathe deeply. This is something that I actually struggle with sometimes when I'm making YouTube videos because I can get on such a riff while I'm talking that I actually forget to stop and breathe. And so because of that, maybe sometimes you might have even heard in my videos, my voice starts to get higher and higher as the video goes along because I start breathing more shallow. I'm trying to talk really fast, and I stop being under control. If you can learn to slow down when you're speaking and take deeper breaths and be able to be comfortable with those pauses, you'll find that your voice will naturally stay a lot deeper. And the other thing about this is it's also a lot of masculine confidence is in that ability to slow down. Guys who aren't very confident in themselves are not willing to make those stops and catch their breath and continue on because they're afraid they're gonna lose the interest of the audience. They're like trying to sputter the whole thing out at once. You wanna make sure you slow down, gather yourself, there's no rush, and just speak with that masculine voice. You're gonna come off a lot more confident, and your voice is obviously gonna be a lot deeper too. Now, using something called Bioenergetics has been another thing that's been really huge for me in adding depth to my voice. Understanding what bioenergetics are, basically it's a sort of field of psychology that explains that the way that you're feeling shows up in your body. So you've seen somebody who's perhaps depressed, and you'll notice maybe their shoulders are slouched, they're looking down, they're not very confident looking. You see someone who's afraid, you see that resonates in how they show up. You see someone who's confident, chest out, right? We understand this intuitively. Now, basically what's happening is how you're feeling internally is resonating in your body. And over time, you habituate to that way of feeling, and your body habituates to that way of basically showing up. And so you hold a lot of tension in your body. Now, this is really important to understand because there are certain areas where you may straight up just be constricted when you're trying to talk. So for example, out of your stomach down here, this is your solar plex area. This is part of where you get that masculine, grounded confidence from. If you're not actually confident, if you hold a lot of insecure tension in your body, you may find it hard to get some bass into your voice. A lot of men have a lot of tension held in their body, in particular in their stomach area, and sometimes even in their throat and their jaw. And what Bioenergetics has done has allowed me to be able to open these areas up. That kind of crazy like chanting thing I was doing at the beginning of this video is Bioenergetics. Basically what I'm doing in that video is I'm banging my heels on the ground while I let out these deep belly chants, like these grunts, and basically it kind of brings my awareness down into my body so that I can speak more from a resonant place, and it kind of opens up all that energy, that really tense kind of feeling in the body. Now, the other exercise that I want to show you right now is called the bow. This is something also from Bioenergetics that allows you to completely stretch out your core, your stomach area, really loosen up any tension that you have there, along within your jaw, within your mouth, in your neck. Basically anywhere that you might be feeling tension that's keeping you from having that confident voice. And the confident voice is simply an expression of your ability to be a confident person. So this energy is actually keeping you from being confident as well. Basically what this exercise is going to do is going to open all of that up. As you'll see here on screen, what I'm doing is I've got the fists of my hands mashed into the small of my back, and I'm stretching out my stomach as much as possible, and I'm bending back. This is called the bow for a reason. And then you'll see that I've also got my mouth wide open, and I'm taking these deep breaths, as deep as I possibly can. And what's happening to me while I'm doing this is all of this place that's really tense, that's got a lot of energy pent up in it, is being allowed to be released. And I'm getting down into my body. This is so powerful, and you'll notice an immediate difference after you do this once. And if you can do this habitually, you're gonna notice that your voice starts to get deeper, you're more grounded, you're more confident, you're less stuck up in your head and feeling tight. Now, the one thing I wanna add about this is make sure that when you do this exercise, do it over your bed, guys, because sometimes you might literally like pass out or come really close to it after you do this because you let so much kind of tension out of the body that like the next thing I do every time I do this is I usually just kind of collapse on my bed for a minute. Now guys, if you got something out of this video, give me a like, hit the subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.